Hi, welcome to Zydoxa. We upload 3 videos a week, so please subscribe so you don't miss any of them. Today we're looking at the 2011 Ride of Steel roller coaster accident at Six Flags Darien Lake theme park in Buffalo, New York, which resulted in the death of a US veteran. Six Flags Darien Lake is a 1,200-acre amusement park and resort, located in Darien Center, New York. Darien Lake is run by Six Flags and features an amusement park, water park, a campground and a lodge hotel. One of Darien Lake's largest attractions is the Ride of Steel roller coaster. This is a steel hypercoaster which opened in 1999 as Superman Ride of Steel and has a top height of 208 feet with a maximum speed of 73 miles per hour. This coaster is the tallest and fastest in New York. On the 8th of July 2011, it was a very busy summer's day at Darien Lake, with many families looking forward to a full day of fun and thrills. One of the park's attendees was a 29-year-old ex-US Sergeant James Thomas Hackmer. Now, in March 2008, James was on tour in Iraq when the vehicle he was in was hit by an explosive device. This attack inflicted several injuries on James, with the main ones being the amputation of both his legs and a brain injury that had left him in a coma for 6 weeks. James had endured a long recovery where he'd had to learn to eat, speak and write again. It was because of this that James wanted to enjoy life to the fullest, especially with his family and friends. And this is what he was doing on the 8th of July 2011. James was enjoying his day at Six Flags Darien Lake with his 2 young daughters, his sister and her 19-year-old son, Ashton. In fact, James had been determined to ride all the roller coasters there. It was towards the end of a fantastic day, just before 5:30 p.m, when James and his nephew sat excitedly in the front car of the Ride of Steel coaster. Little were they to know everything was going to go wrong. As the roller coaster began the first drop, witnesses reported seeing James let go of the lap restraint with both hands to reach for his hat that had blown off his head. It's at this point James was flung from the ride and fell around 150 feet to his death. This must have been extremely traumatic for his 19-year-old nephew to witness. The park closed the ride while they investigated. State Labour authorities found that the staff operating the ride had not been properly trained to observe the rules of the ride. They said that the park's safety and operational requirements, which were visibly posted at the entrance to the ride, were not followed. These rules require riders to have both legs, because the safety device restrained the legs, shins and lap to hold the riders safely in the car. And as James was a double amputee and wasn't wearing prosthetics, there was nothing for the restraints to hold down. The park responded by retraining staff and updating ride safety signage before reopening the ride just 2 weeks later on the 22nd of July 2011. And the ride actually is still open today. James's family sued Darien Lake for wrongful death and received a 7-figure settlement in 2013. James was a very young man at 29 years old who had battled the odds to survive an horrific attack in Iraq, to then lose his life on a roller coaster. I just hope his family can take some comfort from the fact he was doing something he loved at the time, and I hope his nephew Ashton has been able to move on from what he witnessed. Thank you for watching. Please support the channel by liking and subscribing, and I'd really like to interact with you in the comments. I hope you join me in the next video. Bye for now.